Hello and welcome to part one of my tutorial on how you build a basic analytics system for your website. Now if you're using PHP, this is perfect for you. If you're not using PHP, then you may want to go with something else like say Google Analytics or something like that. But if you are using PHP and you're familiar with databases and things of that nature, this is perfect. It is for me because I run several different websites, and I'm going to explain the websites real quick. And let me pull this one up here real quick. Virginia News Live. Okay. This is one of my websites, and I have two like this. One for Florida, which is Floriblog, and one for Virginia. And what this does is it is a Rss Feed Parser, and it parses RSS feeds at the rate of, in the Virginia case it's 39, in Florida I think it's like 85, and it goes through those 85 feeds once every 4 minutes and grabs every single story that those news feeds have, and so it loads those news feeds into a database that I have. This one I just started a few days ago, so I've only got 2762 records in here. And then what it does is it tweets these top stories like anywhere from 8 to 10 times an hour across Twitter to a whole bunch of followers who, between the followers and the robots, come in and look at the site. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, in this case here, I'm going to show you that I've got two tables. One is called hit count and the other is called bot count. And we'll start out with bot count because that's going to change up during the time that we're talking. Right now, and I've set this back a little while ago, it's got 393 records in it. And what this is telling me here, because of the script that I'm going to show you in part 2, 3, 4, whatever as we go through, this is going to show you that I have just a basic ID field here that really does nothing. And then I have IP field. This is the IP of the user that came in and looked at a page. Now I've got hit page here, which is the page that they looked at. And this one here you may or may not use depending upon whether you have dynamically driven titles to your website or whatever. But I've made this script to be portable, and it can go on any website anywhere, and it will record the hits from that website, provided that I put it on there with my credentials. So anyway, hit title, and this is the hit referrer, which I'll have to show you in the other table because I don't have the this is a bot counter, and it counts anything that doesn't have a referrer involved with it. This is the browser. It tells you what they're using for a browser, whether it's Firefox, whether it's MSIE, whatever. And it can also show Twitter bots, and it can show iPhones and things like that. It just shows the browser. And then I also insert the current time so I can do time-based analysis on it. And I've also, in my case, since I'm tracking 3 different sites, I have a field called hit site, which is an enum field, enumerate, whatever. And site 1 is Floriblog, site 2 is Cook This, and site 3 is Virginia News Live, the one I just showed you. And so since I've been on here, there have probably been a few more bots because, like I say, I tweet everything very frequently. We started out here, and this I set maybe a half an hour ago at 393. So as I hit this again, we'll see this number change, and now it's 418. I've had 418 hits on my site. So I'd kind of like to know where those hits came from and to which sites they went to. I made this initially, I made one version for each site, and then I thought, wouldn't it be good if I just had everything in one place? That way I can write queries and make a page that just pretty much reports things to me. So I'm going to paste a query I had saved up so it doesn't take a lot of time to type it. And what this query does is it selects a count from hit page as count, from bot count, which is the one that gets the most hits, and it groups them by hit page, which is, I have those numbers I showed you, 1, 2, 3, which designate which sites I have. and then it orders them by the count, meaning the highest count comes first and the lowest count comes, in my case I got 3 numbers there. So let's just run this and we'll come back. Okay, no, this one is counting how many hits per page. So you can run it a lot of different ways, and this way it tells me that this page has been hit 16 times, so is this one, and then 14, 13, 10, 9, blah blah, and down the line. So let me go ahead and grab that other piece of code I was referring to with the checking of how many sites, and I'll give you a quick demo of how that works. Now, I haven't written these into pages yet. Maybe by the time this series is over I'll add a video that shows how to write this into your pages and all, but this one is going to sort them out by site, and I can see I've had 171 hits on Florablog and 184 hits on Cook This and 107 on Virginia News Live. So this is a pretty decent thing to have here. And now if I go through hit count, let me show you something else that that this one collects the hit refer. This is a referring page from where the hit came from. So for example, let me scroll on down here and see if I've got anything new here. I've put these in the last video that I did, but unfortunately it was about a 25-minute video and I came to realize I really wasn't covering as much as I need to cover, so I figured I'd break them up into chunks. But anyway, I'm going to show you what I looked up on the last one here. You can see here where I've got a Yahoo search, and I've made this particular field a text field because sometimes the strings can get pretty long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go visit this record right here, and I'm going to cut this out of here, this search Yahoo and the long string that follows it, and I'm going to go up here to I'm going to go to Florablog, and I'm going to paste it in, and this will take us to where this hit came from, and in this case it's going to take us to Yahoo, and I've already visited this, that's why it's darked out, and it shows me on this page there's 4 stories ahead of mine, and then there's my story here. And like I said, these disseminate news from news feeds, so I get right into Yahoo pretty quickly, even though this is an older story. So if I look here, I can see that this came from Florablog News Detail PHP FID equals 49.95. Now I know I've got a lot more stories in there, so this one's a little old, a couple of weeks at least. So let me click that, and that takes you to the page. Yeah, you can see I've got 13,038 stories in here. And when it takes you to that page, then all the user has to do is either click on one of my ads, which would be nice, or they click on that and it takes them to the article from the feed and where the article came from this feed, and then they can go ahead and read the rest of the story on the provider's website. So I'm going to go ahead and close this window out now, but that shows you what how useful it is to be able to collect this information in terms of who's coming to your site and whatever. Also, if you see a specific IP that you see as hitting your site a lot, you can also do this query by IP. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy the query over there again. I'm going to go to SQL, and actually I don't have a lot of records in that side of it, so our bot count does. And we had something like 300 and some records when this started. Now we're at 445 already. So when I go to the SQL for the bot hit, put this in, Control V, and now I want to order it on hit IP. So I'll just change this from hit site to IP, and you'll see I can run my analytics across a number of different factors. Now I can see that this particular IP, which I didn't change that in here, so let me go ahead and change that in here real quick. I'll go back to SQL because it's showing the page now, and I don't want it to show the page, I want it to show the IP address. So we'll see which IPs are hitting the most, and you can embed this query right into a report page and you get a lot of information. We can see that this particular bot is hitting my site quite a bit. It's already hit 32 times. This one's hit 27, this one's hit 23. Some of these could be people that are just surfing around the site quite a bit, but in the most case, when you see numbers like those, typically they're going to be bots. And you can run further analysis on your IPs too. There's you can geocode your IPs and know like what city or country they're coming from, but that's a whole different tutorial set which I'll get into later on. But anyway, this page 1 here, this first offering is just kind of an overview of how you would use this information to gather information about the visits and how you can find that information useful, how you can compare visits from a number of sites, and you can run this on both your table that has the hit refer count, you know, the refer link, and the ones that don't have the refer link as well. So you can know a lot more information about your visitors and all that. So you don't really have to rely on some outside analytics program. For example, I use one of the more famous ones, and I can't mention a name given where I'm putting this, but you can probably do the math. And come to find out, when I built my own, I found a whole lot higher percentage of Yahoo and Bing visits than I found on the other one. That is kind of interesting. Maybe a conspiracy theory, but anyway, in the next video I'll go ahead and get involved in the code quite a bit, and we can see here, looking at this bot count, I'm at 467, and I can instantly check almost in real time. When I hit this number is going to go from 467, it's going to go up. I'm wondering if it's going to hit 5 yet. 480. No, so it was only 13, so it was a slow 3 minutes on Twitter, I guess. But anyway, this is part 1, and this is the advantages of making your own system. You can add a lot more into this system, but I'm just going to show you the basic framework of how you get started. So I will see you in part 2.